Hey guys, how's it going? On this week's video, I'll be breaking down a drill you can do at the airport after you come off of a long flight. So every now and then I have clients that are traveling a lot for work or they're going to visit their families, and when they get out of the plane, they can feel their back start to tighten up or stiffen, or like it just feels a little off. So this is something you can do. All you need really is a wall that you can lean up against at the airport. And once you have that, then you can start tacking on a lot of the other sensorial things that you need, like hamstrings, adductors, obliques, and so on and so forth. So having said all that, let's get down to it. So for this drill, what you're going to need is a flat piece of wall that you can lean up against. And that's pretty much it. So before you start up on the drill, what I want you to do is have your feet parallel with one another, get most of your weight onto the heels, and when you do that, you should feel your pelvis start to posteriorly tilt, giving you more sensorial feedback into your hamstrings, maybe your adductors. You need to feel those things before attempting this drill on the wall, because if you don't, and when you just get flush on the wall and you're not paying attention to that sort of stuff, you may start to feel quads kicking in. And if you feel quads kicking in, it's going to be really hard for you to be able to leverage this drill to get you to get your lower back to shut down a little bit and stop talking to you as much. Okay? Having said all that, you're going to get your hips all the way up to your shoulder blades, flush against the wall. You don't want any extension. You don't want to be excessively rounded either. So you're going to maintain that contact, hamstrings, adductors, reach. You're going to exhale and you continue to reach. So reach right before you exhale, reach right before you inhale. You're constantly reaching. Your protraction is never good enough on this drill. Okay? Having said all that, reach, exhale. Doing the same thing, trying to get hamstrings, inner thigh, flush against the wall, pressure on the heels, all that jazz, reaching. And I want you to pay attention to how much air is getting filled up here. I am not allowing air to expand into my belly. This is not belly breathing. I'm consciously trying to keep the tension that I've acquired from the exhale intact as I draw breath on the next one. So it's going to be, two things to watch out for are being careful of beginning to belly breathe and expanding down here. Another thing to be careful is watch how my protraction is steady throughout the entirety of the drill. If I inhale on my and I'm not paying attention to protraction, I will start to retract and lose position of my scapula and rib cage. So those are things to pay attention to, all right? But having said all that, once again, setting up, got hamstrings, inner thigh, posterior tilt, and reach, X. So that was the drill and a close-up of the upper body stuff as well. Some things to consider. You need to make sure that you're exhaling sufficiently. If you're just doing one of these, you're not doing anything. I don't know what else to tell you. You have to exhale sufficiently until you can feel one or more of these following things. One, you start to feel your lower ribs start to internally rotate and almost kind of like approach your sacrum or your tailbone. So your lower ribs are starting to close in and internally rotate like so. That's one. Two, can you feel this sternum, this breastplate start to approach your spine as you continue to exhale, because the entirety of your rib cage is getting smaller throughout the exhalation. Three, can you feel your obliques, these muscles up by your side, can you feel them contract as you exhale more and more? Because once those ribs start to internally rotate continuously, they will start to approach the sacrum, they'll start to approach the hips. So then that's when the obliques are in their optimal position for leveraging all these different things, and you're gonna feel them tighten. And the fourth and final thing will be pressure. Can you feel pressure, increased pressure in your lower abdomen as you're exhaling fully? Because eventually it will be this reference that will give us the maximum benefit to pay attention to. What I mean by that is you will feel a ton of pressure on your lower abs as you're exhaling or as you're approaching the end of your exhale. You have to hold on to that pressure and breathe through that pressure without letting it dissipate. So what does that mean? It means you can't belly breathe. You can't expand your belly. When you belly breathe, what you're doing is you're extending your spine. You're thrusting your center of pressure forward. You're losing position. All of these drills are really doing is they're teaching you how to manage internal pressure. They're teaching you how to load one side and unload the other side. When you exhale, so first you get the position. So you get the position, you get the sensorial feedback, hamstrings, adductors, obliques, serratus, whatever. You get the position. The exhale solidifies and locks down and connects the upper and lower halves of your body, right? Because it's the obliques that allow you to make sense of this protraction and connect it to the adduction or the inner thigh on that same side, right? So the exhale locks down the position that you've acquired previously through low threshold integration, meaning you're not stiffening and bracing to get these feelings that I'm talking about. When you inhale, the inhale is trying to get you to lose all of this position, okay? So if you're inhaling and then you notice that you lose hamstrings or adductors or your protraction becomes somewhat retracted, then you've lost position. You were not able to manage the integration of all of these separate bony positions. And that's the secret behind all of these things. You need to be able to manage these positions against resistance. So for most people, this will be airflow. Can you manage that inhale and hold on to these positions? When we start talking about weights, or when we start doing traditional or modified strength training exercises, it's the same thing. Can you hold on to these positions as you're coming up? Okay, that's it for this week. If you guys have any questions on the drill or how you can modify it, leave a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel. Hit me up on Instagram. I post there almost every day at Mejor Strength. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week.